I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Understand me? We back up.
This is the Orioles Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It is a good night to be in the DMV as the Baltimore Orioles emerge victorious, get their first series win in a 6-2 triumph over the Cleveland Guardians here on Thursday night. Good evening, wherever you may be. Thanks for watching here live on YouTube and listening on the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Luke Slaybaugh. I am the post-game show host, henceforth known as the Postcast. Tonight, I give you instant reaction after each Baltimore Orioles game. I am bonus content. Connor Newcomb still runs the show 5 days a week, the main Locked On Orioles podcast. I am a complimentary piece here. I want to say thank you for listening and watching wherever you are. I really appreciate your time. And we get to celebrate. Orioles win back-to-back games for the first time this season, and they also win their first series. They did it on a great plate approach, great discipline, and of course, those home runs.
This is what you'll be talking about.
We're going to talk about Tomoyuki Sugano in a little bit. He may be the star of the game. However, first, Gunnar Henderson setting the tone in the first inning in the two-hole tonight. More on that a little bit later. Frozen rope to left center field. Gets a fastball he really likes. 18-degree launch angle. That was a frozen rope, and it really played into the new wall at Camden Yards, the left center field area. Probably not a home run last year, but good for Gunnar to get the first one on the board. Ew, wee-hoo. Appreciate you all filing in, leaving comments. We'll show a little bit more right now. That was a good start for Gunnar Henderson to hit his home run, first of the season. Cedric Mullins, by the way, leading off. And here we have to give manager Brandon Hyde some credit. He did a good. He put the best eye right now in the number one spot. Despite Cedric not scoring any runs tonight, and not a whole lot to show for it in the box score, he was able to work counts early, was able to see more pitches so that the players behind him, his teammates, could have success. We move ahead to the bottom of the third. Was a really great showing at the plate overall. Ramon Urias walks. Henderson, his second at-bat of the game, doubles to left field. It's kind of this liner that left fielder Stephen Kwan of the Guardians kind of deked out Urias on, acted like he was going to just waltz on over it, and watching the Masson broadcast, I thought it was going to be a lazy flyout. So the Orioles then have to stick for second and third. Adley Rutschman at the plate, and Urias gets caught napping. Austin Hedges, the catcher, nabs him at third base for an out. Rutschman then walks, and with two outs, we see Ryan O'Hearn get a high fastball, big juicy meatball, 96 miles an hour as he dropped the hands, 3-run home run, made it a 4-2 ball game. And then, of course, bottom of the sixth, the guy we've been pumping up and gassing up all week, Heston Kjerstad. O'Hearn singles ahead of him, and then some light tower power out of Heston. Hanging changeup hits at 400 feet, made it 6-2, which would be the final score of this game. Mullins is just a microcosm of the approach to the plate that I thought was a lot better. I still think there was room for improvement. And as we mentioned, they left a couple runners on. It could have been a much larger margin of victory. Urias got picked off. Mullins got picked off in the fifth at first base. They might have left a couple runs on the board. They worked Tanner Bybee, right-hander for Cleveland, for 27 pitches in the bottom of the third. And they have him at that point up to high 50s in pitch count. They've got him on the ropes. A wise veteran team, a battle-tested one, would step on his throat in the fourth. Make him work. Make him average 20 pitches per innings. Work the count a little bit more. However, as has been the case with Baltimore so far this season, in the fourth inning, 3 Baltimore hitters go down on 5 pitches total. Between the 3 of them, 5-pitch inning for Bibee. The final line on Bibee, 5 2/3, 6 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, which was key, 5 strikeouts, and the 3 home runs. Kjerstad, O'Hearn, and Henderson. The O's were picked off twice on the base paths. Kind of quirky. I want to thank you again for listening here to the Locked On Orioles postcast, instant reaction post-game, as we celebrate the first series win for the Baltimore Orioles over the Cleveland Guardians. Final score 6-2. Coming up, we're going to talk about the star of the game and something desperately needed. Tomoyuki Sugano had been hot and cold, and he showed tonight just what potential he has as a mid-rotation number 3, number 2 here in Baltimore. And we're going to talk about that just after this break. But first, we got 3 mid-rolls, starting with Amazon Fire TV. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire Stick TV 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. You can play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with you, allowing you to take you or your kids' games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. That's all one word, Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube, 3rd Gen. Another shout out, of course, this time going out to PrizePicks. Basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up. No better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards with PrizePicks. Easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. With PrizePicks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, football, for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. St. Louis Blues going up against the Winnipeg Jets, and I'll tell you, Pavel Buchnevich going to score a goal, maybe 2. Check me on that. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's all one word, LOCKEDONMLB, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. And one last ad copy. Shout out to Gametime. Nothing better than catching a game live at Camden Yards. Get all that crab dip, that jumbo lump Maryland crab, the blue crab, the chicken wings that Jim Palmer won't eat, with last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as the game time gets closer, so you can score an incredible deal. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On, and as this season continues and as the Orioles start to trek their way back up the AL East standings, I can count on them to get some tickets to the Yard and to wherever we may take this show. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you to Gametime for sponsoring this show. Realize now that I have the banner covering those ad copies, so we're going to give Gametime a little bit of love here as we move forward and talk about Tomoyuki Sugano. 7 innings strong, the longest start by an Orioles pitcher this season. Hard to believe. We saw some quality outings out of Zach Eflin early in the season before he went on the IL. Manager Brandon Hyde, pitching coach Drew French seemed to be keeping their starters in these first couple of weeks in the 70 to 80 pitch count range, which, by the way, Tomoyuki Sugano still fell into. One of the most positive things about this outing is that he was not hit hard and got better as the game went on and still probably had something left in the tank. Please stay healthy. To the baseball gods that are listening and watching here on the Locked On Podcast Network. This is a great start, and it was auspicious from the very beginning, striking out Stephen Kwan on consecutive whiffs on splitters. Kwan, by the way, had the third lowest whiff rate heading into this game. Going to give PrizePicks some love here too in this second block. Sugano runs into trouble in the third inning, going up against Daniel Schneemann. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, kind of low. Home run made it a 1-1 ball game. Schneemann, a fascinating case. I mean, 33rd round pick in 2018, the 1003rd overall pick. A story in just perseverance and strength and resilience and making the MLB dream come true. Sugano, you could also say, coming over from Japan. Schneemann hits a home run, makes it 1-1, and then the next batter, easy to say that this was avoidable, but I think this was just a case of Austin Hedges, perennial backup catcher, out-dueling Tomo. Still green in the major leagues, a 9-pitch at-bat. Eventually, Tomo caves, gives him a splitter down the heart of the plate, and for that moment, 7 and 8 hitters for Cleveland hit back-to-back jacks, and we're thinking, oh, goodness, not this again. We had talked about in the Toronto series and even the start of this series that the Orioles staff wasn't getting burned by the Jose Ramirez's and Lane Thomases of the world, or who were supposed to be the core hitters on this Cleveland team. Carlos Santana, not a thing. It was the 6 through 9 hitters. In fact, Sugano didn't give up a hit to the 1 through 6 hole hitters until the top of the 7th inning. So he was doing well against their best and keeping them off balance. Really wonky strikeout by Jose Ramirez, by the way. Sir Anthony Dominguez there in that 8th got him on a splitter and the bat went flying into the harbor. Incredible. Tomo was nailed after that iffy third inning and limited the damage to just that. Even the third time through the lineup, in which he had limited exposure in his first 4 starts. Top of the 7th inning. Again, Nathan Jones just rips a ground ball to Ryan Mountcastle that he can't corral. It was hard hit, and it's clearly a hit in the box score. Otherwise, no damage. Got a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Lane Thomas right afterwards. And then get Schneemann on a high fastball, striking out to end the 7th inning. Finishes strong by getting the guy out who gave him the most trouble and had 2 knocks off him in the game. Needed this for Sugano's confidence, for fans' confidence in this team, for faith in this team that now improves to 8-10 with the Cincinnati Reds coming into town. Homestand wrapping up in 3 days, and then 3 more games in the DMV down in Navy Yard. This is an opportunity to change the trajectory of this season. Hope springs eternal. It wasn't all good news today. I will go through some comments there in a second. But the main story before the game that reporters learned from manager Brandon Hyde and the rest of the staff was that Grayson Rodriguez had a setback in his rehab. Right-hander supposed to throw a bullpen today, coming back from the elbow triceps inflammation. And that didn't happen. His shoulder was sore. Rodriguez reportedly very frustrated trying to get working on the field. Went for an MRI, was still anticipating results when we went live. Tyler O'Neill, outfielder, also not in this game, misses back-to-back games with neck discomfort. He should be coming around the corner relatively soon, per the Masson broadcast, not looking at an IL stint for that. Let's take a look at the comments here Blue Man 25, a regular comment here on YouTube, says Sugano definitely earned his paycheck tonight. Yeah, make upwards of 13 millions. I think so. Commander James, CR James on YouTube comments, this 2-game win streak feels like a 7-game win streak. It also feels like it's been 7 days from the first pitch yesterday to Felix Bautista getting the strikeout to end tonight. Zach James comments, returns from last night. Thank you again to the returning viewers and listeners here. The win feels great, says Zach James. I want your thoughts on Adley. Adley Rutschman, I love him, but I feel like he hasn't taken the step since 2023. What do you think his future will look like? I am going to refer you first to an episode that Connor Newcomb, the main host here on Locked On Orioles, did during spring training about, will we see the real Adley Rutschman please step up in this 2025 campaign? He took a foul tip off the thumb in July, I believe it was, last year, and was never the same at the plate afterwards, and was very, I guess, cautious in trying to grind through that season into the regular season into the postseason. We saw the ball jump off his bat in the spring and to start this season. And he had a very lengthy on-base streak going for him as well. For tonight, yeah, he's been rolling over on things. Again, against right-handed pitching, rolling over to the pull side, the first base side, still seeing the ball very well, which when someone doesn't have a hit or doesn't perform to the caliber that you want, if they're still walking at an acceptable rate, getting on base and contributing and scoring runs, you at least know that it is not a mental pitch recognition type of deal. But in terms of approach to plate, I don't know. It's a really good question. Christina Rosati, I'm Italian, says, awesome win. Uncle Dave says, Cedric has been killing it. And I would agree. Cedric Mullins in the leadoff spot was an excellent choice. Ryan Pranger, Texas Ranger. Is that a Curious George, or is that DW from Arthur on that book? Did you write that book, sir? Please comment. Ryan on YouTube says, Luke, have you heard anything on Jordan Westburg? They seem to be managing an injury with him, but he is 0 for his last 20-something. Yeah, I think it went up to 23 tonight. I wonder if it is still the back issue from spring training. I hope it's not, because as a 30-year-old male, I know what it's like to have a bad mattress. In fact, I'm sleeping on one right now. Not right now as we're recording this show, but when I go back after this, I'm sleeping on a rock. And that would the opposite thing happened with Jordan Westburg down in Sarasota, which again, adult men over 25 should relate to, is that if it's too firm or too soft a mattress, it will throw off your neck and spinal arrangement and all that. It shouldn't be that. He took something off the arm, maybe in the field, was it? During that Kansas City series. I could be totally misguided on that, but he's still hitting middle of the order. They had him batting leadoff the other night. And yeah, mired in this 0 for 20 something. I would love to know. In fact, I will make this my mission, I promise to you. As far as this Locked On Postcast goes, whatever days may lie ahead, first of all, keep supporting the main show. I know you do listen to Connor and watch him 5 days a week. Be sure to tune in Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be here doing the postcasts. Support the show, but when I get in there, I will get to the heart of it. I will talk to Jordan Westburg myself and say, hey, man, big fan. Ryan Pranger says that the book in question has Count Chocula. It's not a book, it's a cereal box. It's Count Chocula. All right. So from my view, streaming this show right now, I am seeing things in reverse and seeing them at a much smaller scale than you might be on YouTube right now. So I apologize for the confusion. I am not illiterate. We will wrap things up here on the Locked On Orioles postcast, as I see a lot of people watching now. If you are repeat watching this, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Were you at the game? Where is Leah? Leah has been commenting the last 3 days, 3 nights. Hopefully she's at the game. Want to make this a really supportive community. We want to celebrate wins like this. And this is why we do this. We go live right after the game. Want to hear from you, talk to you, let you know what the vibe is. And right now, we just got to celebrate. Back-to-back wins for the first time this season, a series win for your Baltimore Orioles. Final score 6-2 over the Cleveland Guardians. And if you were a fan of tonight, you got another game tomorrow. 7:05, first pitch on Masson 2. The Cincinnati Reds and one Tito Terry Francona coming into town. Still at it. It's with the Guardians a couple years ago, and of course, did a lot of winning in the AL East with the Boston Red Sox. He is now tasked with leading this Cincinnati Reds perpetual rebuild into something more competitive. Heck, they probably haven't made the playoffs since Dusty Baker was there. Matt Latos blew out his arm. Incredible. When Johnny Cueto dropped the ball during the wild card game on the mound because the Pittsburgh crowd was getting under his skin. Those were simpler times. Left-hander Andrew Abbott, he of the 1-0 record and 1.80 ERA, scheduled to take the mound for the Reds. And oh boy, just when Brandon Hyde had put back-to-back really good lineups together, all that tinkering, all that string pulling, of course, the O's have to go up against the left-hander. How will that approach change? Ramon Laureano probably going to see some playing time. But if we learned anything today or over the last 2 games, it's that Heston Kjerstad is an everyday player. Period. Full stop. Jackson Holliday, also let him cook. And also Tomo Sugano, 2-3 starter upside. Still need more pitching, but if he can be anything close to a sure thing and consistent, you've got more optimism about this tattered and torn pitching rotation. I would say help's on the way, but I don't know. So Andrew Abbott, lefty, southpaw, taking the mound against Cade Povich. And Cade, been doing okay. Still needs win number 1 of this season. Abbott is the first of 2 lefties that the O's will face in the Cincinnati series. The other being Nick Lodolo. Lodolo sounds like a lost Pokemon name. And that is all I'm going to have to say about that. Reds didn't win today. Mariners beat them in 10 innings, I believe. So they will be slouching their shoulders coming into the DMV. East Coast, of course. Greatest place to be. Steve Plant comments, Heston Kjerstad, go Hogs, woo pig suey. Jeff Mjolnir, I am Thor. Jeff on YouTube says, team wins, Silent J knows how to hit. And we're going to leave it at that. O'Hearn, mammoth home run? Well, no. His had to be reviewed, but of course it was over the fence. Gunnar, frozen rope. Kjerstad with the tank. O'Hearn with home runs in back-to-back games. Oh, yeah. Series win, back-to-back wins. Life is good. Final score tonight, Baltimore Orioles beat the Cleveland Guardians 6-2. Thanks for watching and listening on YouTube Live and the Locked on Orioles podcast network. This was the Locked on Orioles postcast, the postgame show. My name is Luke Slaybaugh. I am here with you after every Baltimore Orioles game. Hope you liked this. If you did, please like and leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will see you tomorrow right here.